Welcome back to another episode of the AJ Sports Podcast. I am one half Anthony Carboni, and to my left is the other half Justin Vilche. Stanley Cup Final is here. We are 2 games in, and we already have a 2-0 lead. Just not what we were expecting. Well, for some were expecting. Others, like myself, were not expecting it. But we're here. We're going to talk about it. The Edmonton Oilers, Florida Panthers Stanley Cup Final. But first, got to talk to the boy, the man, Justin. How we doing, man? How we
I'm
doing?
good. I'm good, bro. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. This final series going crazy right now. We got NBA too. Everything's good. The
We can
weather's getting
discuss we can
warmer.
as well if we want. We'll discuss both. We can discuss both.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, everything good. Everything good. Just living life.
Yeah, that's good. We came back from a Niagara Falls trip. The boys took a trip. So that's why we didn't
Yes.
have a pod last week. We went to Niagara Falls for a little bit. It was good. We went to the casino. It was, you know how that always goes. But yeah, yeah. As you could tell by my smile, it was great. Um, yeah, so we're gonna discuss this Stanley Cup final first. So I think let's get right into it. So last we left off, we previewed and made our predictions. You said Oilers in 7, I said Oilers in 6. Game 1, Saturday night, anticipating the first time since the Canadian team's been in the Cup final since Montreal, in 2021. And especially in Florida, the vibes were going to be there. It was electric. I mean, we were losing money at the moment, so we didn't really we're much, but looking at the highlights and before the game started, the crowd was going crazy. They showed the Alberta cam. Edmonton Oilers fans in Alberta were going crazy. Inside, I don't even what's her arena name? Amrit Arena.
Um, it used to be called the BB&T Center. I don't really know what it is now. Let me see.
I forget what it's called, but in
Yeah, the
Sunrise,
the,
Florida,
the Amaranth Bank Arena.
the Amaret Bank Arena was going crazy over there, and yeah, I mean, for the Edmonton Oilers, the task was, going to be trying to solve Bobrovsky after he had a really good series against the Rangers. And as for the Panthers, shut down McDavid. And that's exactly what happened in game 1. Barkov versus McDavid was going to be the matchup heading into that series. And you know how good McDavid is, but we never ever discuss how good Barkov is. That guy is incredible. It is no secret why he won the Selke Trophy. He is incredible. He shut McDavid down in that game, held him to 0 points, held the entire team to 0 points, and they win 3-0. Verhaeghe gets the first goal. I want to say who else scored in that game. Verhaeghe got the first one. Might have been Sam Bennett that got the second one, and then they potted an empty netter. So
Yeah.
they won 3-0. Bobrovsky absolutely shut the door. The Edmonton Oilers were piling shots, and the Panthers weren't really getting many chances. But, as for Edmonton, they just kept, like I said, piling pucks on net, and Bobrovsky kept shutting the door. And Barkov was shutting down McDavid extremely well. He was getting in his way. He was getting sticks, blocking passing lanes, and they shut the Oilers out 3-0 in game 1. What did you think of that game? I mean, I thought it was a great performance from the Panthers, and how that's exactly how they can beat the Oilers in this series for sure.
Yeah, I thought the Oilers got a little bit unlucky. I mean, at the start of the game, the Oilers were just crisp passing all over. Like they looked like they
Did you
were
see
ready.
the deserve to win meter? The
Yeah,
stupidest
yeah.
thing in sports.
That's all nonsense, bro. You know how many times the Leafs have won the deserve a winner mater and they still lose the game. I don't care about that. The Oilers looked ready to go, and it's just again, it's all comes down to the goalie, to the goaltending. Really, like Stuart Skinner. I mean, in the first five
Allowed
shots,
the
he
first
couldn't
goal.
concede a goal.
Allowed the first goal on the first shot for like I don't know. I think the 10th time in these playoffs.
Goaltending, dude. Sergei Bobrovsky is just a clear better goal than Stuart Skinner, and that's what was really the difference maker. Um, Top line, McDavid. And yeah, I mean they came out with a win there, game 1, and they did what they needed to do. Win game 1, set the tone early, and that was it. And then game 2 yesterday, the Oilers scored first. Uh, you know, but again, it's
Hold
a
on,
full line like
hold on.
Panthers.
Let's talk about the amount of penalties in the first period. Like, wow, it's
Oh yeah, yeah.
very. There was at least 3 knee-on-knees in that one. The
And
Warren
they're
Fogle, the Warren Fogle one was not a 5 minute. I will say it wasn't. It did not look intentional to me. It did not. I don't think it deserved 5 minutes. I mean, it's unfortunate the way it ended up, but I really don't think Fogle intended to knee-on-knee Lusterinen. So I don't. 5 minutes for me is a bit too much. Maybe like first, I don't know, and a game like really for
yeah.
that. I think that's a little crazy. A lot of fans on Twitter are saying it was Sportsnet bias because Kevin Bieksa and Kelly also said it wasn't 5 minutes. But then I'm like watching the play and I'm like, there's no way that was intentional and it was intent to injure. Like it was just an unfortunate knee on knee collision. It didn't look like he stuck out his knee on purpose to try and like block it, right? I think it was just a shitty collision and shitty timing. And I don't think Fogle deserved the 5 in the game, but Edmonton ended up killing off and then drawing a penalty, so it was 4-on-4. And Matthias Ekholm scored. The first goal for the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final was from a defenseman. So, I mean, first of all, what did you think of the Warren Fogle knee on knee? Did you think it was 5?
I didn't really think it was 5. Like we've seen dirtier hits and dirtier plays that don't get called. So I
In
was
these
kind of
playoffs.
yeah in the playoffs. I mean, I don't really think it was intent to injure at all. But again, these refs in these playoffs and just in the NHL in general are just all over the place. So it doesn't really surprise me that the call stood. So yeah, Ekholm scores, make it 1-0, and then the Oilers are looking good. And then all of a sudden, like, who scored the next one? Oh yeah,
Nikola.
Panthers tied up. Yes, yes. Panthers tied up in the second period. Nikola scores. By the way, more depth scoring from the Panthers. Evan Rodriguez,
Fair
in game,
defenseman.
yeah, Louis Terrain, and then now Nikola scores in game 2. And then going to the third period, Oilers, they should have,
Tied one.
they were getting outshot by quite a substantial margin. But you could think, okay, well, you know what, 1-1 going to the third period, maybe they could squeak it out. But that was not the case. Evan Rodriguez scores 3 minutes into the third, makes it 2-1, and then Rodriguez, more depth scoring, scores again on the power play, to make it 3-1, and then Aaron Ekblad with the empty netter to make it 4-1. And now this series has proven to show two things. One, Bobrovsky is just, we all knew he was the better goaltender than Stuart Skinner. That like, everybody knew that. But it's just coming down to goaltending and depth scoring. Look, the Oilers, their depth is not comparable to the Florida Panthers depth. Like the Florida Panthers depth is just absolutely ridiculously insane. And now Barkov is now shutting down McDavid in that core. So now will the Oilers depth show that they can, run with the Florida Panthers here? And I just don't think so. Now Barkov is, Maurice didn't really give an update for game 3 as to if Barkov will be ready. He didn't look all that great. Like I think he was out of the game for a little bit in the third
Yeah,
period. So
I think he went to the dressing room a bit in the third period after the Draisaitl hit.
yeah, so that could be again major, massive loss and could really change the tide of this series if Barkov is out. But I mean, man, like the Florida Panthers, like they don't look phased at all by McDavid or Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins. Like they don't, dude. They're just going out there having fun. Like
They're playing their game. They're playing their game.
And I thought Planters just looked like they're playing with more physicality, the better goaltender. Like I tell you, bro, when you have a goaltender that you have faith in, like, dude, you could just go out there and play freely. Like, and that's what, dude, that's what the Panthers are doing. So, I mean, but if Edmonton doesn't get this done, bro, tough times in Edmonton.
Well, I mean, I saw your tweet yesterday, and I had to say, I mean, McKinnon had an easier Cup Finals opponent, I think, than McDavid. I think the Panthers this year are way better than the Tampa Bay Lightning from 2022. But that's for another discussion. We'll debate McDavid and McKinnon once the playoffs are over. But like you
Yeah.
said, Florida is playing their game. Florida's playing their game, and Bobrovsky's shutting the door. He's shutting the door. And like I said, they're like you said, they're not phased by McDavid, Draisaitl, or Hyman. Sure, they can do it in the regular season. They can do it against the Kings. But when it comes to a tough physical team, the Panthers are just outplaying them. Like I thought it was going to be a reverse where because Skinner was just getting lit with shots like throughout the whole game, and then he was making good saves, but the team in front of him was not supporting him. Like Rodriguez just scored like 2 goals that like I saw like the Mikola goal for me was where I was confused because how does a forward F1 or F2 or yeah F2 not come back and trail that defenseman? Because F1 is staying up high watching, in case the centerman breaks out with the wingers, the two defense are going to lock in on the other guys. Mikola sneaks in the play and he gets a drop pass from Lundell and then just takes a slap shot and scores. Where was forward number 2? Where was the back check? There was nothing. And that puck was like on a knuckle too. It was a very awkward puck because it went like up and then right down. Skinner was expecting it to go like up here and it came down to like underneath his glove. So first of all, I blame the rest of the forwards on that play because F2 should have been coming back and stopping that because no way you allow a defenseman who's 6'4" and slow like Mikola is to walk in and just walk right into a slap. Right? It just doesn't make sense to me. But Panthers come in and now they're up 2-0 in this series. Edmonton they're going back to Edmonton now for games 3 and 4. McDavid in a quote yesterday said, I hope or something like where I can see all the people doubting us and we hope to prove that we want to prove them wrong, or I'm excited to prove them wrong. So we'll see. I mean, you have to win both games. You cannot lose at home. They have to win both. If they lose one, five like in 5 games, it might be done, right? Because it's hard to win in Florida, as you can see, with that crowd. You need to take advantage of home ice, bro. You need to take the home ice advantage and roll with it and just win. You have Alberta behind you, or most of Alberta. You have a lot of Canadians behind you. You're in Canada. You have the cup games there. You have 3 and 4. You need to win both. But I don't know. Can they? I mean, McDavid, he looked really good out there flying, making moves, spinning around. Like I was a little nervous for Florida there. I'm like, yo, McDavid's coming here spinning, cutting through. He's like doing his little fakes all the way through up and up the ice. For me though, I think Draisaitl needs to be a bit better too. He needs to be more of a difference maker now because Barkov is trying to shut down McDavid's line. Who's trying to shut down Draisaitl's line? Like guys like Kane, like that Hawaiian Dylan Holloway, they didn't look good to me at all.
Yeah, just the death pieces are not looking good. And another thing, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Let's not forget this dude was a 100-point player last year. So the fact now he just wants to be quiet and not really do much. That's really concerning. Like, yeah, people can say yes. I know we've said off camera that Ryan Nugent Hopkins is really not that nice of a player, which is facts. But let's not forget, the point total shows he did have 100 points last year. So remember, he was wasn't he a number 1 overall draft pick at some point? So
Was
let's not forget, Ryan Nugent Hopkins here. This is
been
a
around.
pretty. He's been around. He's been through tough times, and now he's in a Stanley Cup final. Okay, yes, Hyman, 50-goal scorer, whatever. He's not really doing much. Draisaitl not really doing much. Bouchard not really doing much either in this series. But dude, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, a lot of eyes are on him too. My eyes are specifically on him. He wants to act. Oh my gosh, bro, 100-point player. Oh, and he got his bag, by the way. He's getting paid. Okay, if he's not gonna step up in this series too, bro. Yeah, major question gonna be asked about too, bro. Because let's not forget, bro, the man 100-point season. Ryan Nugent Hopkins since when? Okay, let's not act like he's a scrub. Okay, he has to prove himself. Darnell Nurse too has to prove himself. Pardon?
That 100 points is 100 points.
100 points is 100 points, bro. Like he was up there. And dude, Cody Cece, by the way, wasn't he healthy scratch? Yeah.
I found
Because
that first. I question that. I mean, he hasn't been healthy scratch in the playoffs yet. I'm surprised he was going to be the guy out. Vinny Desharnais in the beginning of the game looked so shaky, man. Like he looked nervous. I don't know if you were watching, but Vinny Desharnais, man, like as soon as he touched the puck, he was trying to like get it off the stick right away. Like first touch of the puck, he puts it right in his own bench. Then he gets it back. He had to get like set into the game. I get that, but like taking a vet out like Cody Cece, I mean, I don't know if that was a smart move.
yeah.
Knobloch is coached. I mean, it's hard when you have the second last change. I mean, Maurice is just doing a good job of putting certain lines on
Uh-huh.
certain lines. Like Florida's third line is outperforming Edmonton's third line. The fourth line is doing really well against Edmonton's fourth line. They're just shutting down. Like they got the fourth line on Florida, like Stenlund, Okposo, and I forget the other guy's name, Lance or something.
Lawrence.
Lawrence, yeah, that line, man, they got some chances. Like even when McDavid was on the ice, like they were putting the pressure down, moving the puck, cycling, and they were just outplaying the Oilers. But Skinner was keeping them in the game. He gave them a chance to win, and then they blew it. So I mean, the
Yeah.
goal differential is 7-1 for Florida right now. Like they have 7 goals. Edmonton scored 1 goal. So look for Edmonton's off. I know they want to play a lot of good offense, like they're trying to play defensively, but they need to get the offense up. It's really, it's if you want to win games, you got to start peppering Bobrovsky with shots. You cannot just look for the right opportunity every time. And a lot of the times on the power play, they're just passing it around. Just take a fucking shot. If you take, like when Bouchard took a slap shot, he hit the post. Nugent Hopkins takes a shot, he hits the crossbar. If you shoot, eventually one's gonna go in. You can't just keep looking for the right pass and right time. Just put it on net and maybe get Hyman to fucking hack the goalie. Get in there and get some garbage goals. It doesn't have to be pretty. Like these Oilers players are just snapping it around out there like it's like for no reason. Like that's regular season hockey, bro. You got to get pucks on net and you got to whack at the goalie and try and get the last touch.
Yeah, and then, we say defense was championships. This might be one of those series where, what, Edmonton, maybe they don't really have to focus too much playing defensive hockey, because when you really put it into perspective, like the Oilers can go toe for toe with this Florida Panthers offense. And I personally think this Oilers offense is better than the Florida Panthers offense. So I honestly believe, dude, like if they just relax on the defensive side and just go full on like how they were playing
And
a
if they
couple.
can trust Skinner, and if they can trust Skinner, which I think you can based off last game.
Yeah, like he's been keeping them in the game for the past 2 games in this final. If they just relax a little bit on defense and play like how they were maybe like last year, dude, I think they might have a better chance beating this Florida Panthers team, because you can't beat this Florida Panthers team playing how you were playing now. Like just trying to snipe it over Borowski. Like, dude, you got to get in there and crash the freaking net, bro. Like, come on now. And I honestly believe, like, if the Edmonton Oilers change their game plan and just go toe for toe offensively and relax on defense, like, and I'm not saying just take cruise control and just like don't play defense. Okay, like I'm talking about like last year or a year and a half ago, where they were like going in there scoring, like trying to score 4, 5, 6 goals, like rapid pace. Okay, like you can't stop them. I think that's what they should do a little bit more, because, dude, 1 goal in 2 games, instant like a final. Come on, bro. Like now you're 2 wins away from not even winning the cup. Okay, like maybe you got to change something, and I personally believe that's what they got to do. But we'll see, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you put it best. Like they really need to crash the net. They got to start scoring. They got to get back to last year's team. Like I remember when everyone knows, like the Edmonton Oilers as a high offensive team, scoring, scoring 5 and winning by 1 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like teams that got to score 4, they win 5. They gotta just start peppering Bobrovsky. They need to score. Like they need to get these games to how they used to play. Like you said, they need those 4 or 5 goal games. They need to be tight. Like defensively, they're getting outplayed. Like
There.
Ekblad's got a great, Barkov's got a great stick. Like a lot of the Florida Panthers guys are just shutting down. They're doing a great job of shutting down McDavid, and it is what it is. It sucks for Oilers fans at the moment, but you know what can you do? You have to change up your game plan and move on. It's a best of, I don't even know what it is a best of now. I mean, you just need to win one and then keep going. Just focus on game 3, then move on to game 4. Don't even worry about being down 2-0. You're back at home. Take game 3 and just roll with it and pretend it's a fresh new series. And if the Oilers can go back to how the way they were before, scoring high goals, giving Bobrovsky a hard time with the fans, with the atmosphere of Edmonton in Canada, with the cup being there, and the forwards doing their thing, like Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nuge being the players that they are, I think the Oilers can come back for sure. We've seen a team come down from 2-0 in the Stanley Cup final, the Boston Bruins against the Canucks in 2011 and win. So it's not impossible, but if Edmonton loses one of these games, I mean, it's pretty much a one and done.
Yeah. And again, like, you're not going to beat Bobrovsky or beat this Florida Panthers team by only having less than 20 shots on goal. Like, Bobrovsky is, again, one of the best goaltenders in the league. Like, it's just simply not going to happen. And you can see it by the way the Edmonton Oilers are playing, even going back to game 7 against the Canucks, where they had like 7 shots on goal going into the third period. Like, they just want to sit back and play defense, which is fine and all. But then when you run into a high-powered offense like this Florida Panthers squad, you can't keep playing like that. And Paul
Yeah.
Coffey and Chris Knoblauch have to notice this. Like, this is the final. Like, this is the last straw, dude. Like, come on now. Like, you're a coach for a reason. Coffee, you're a coach for a reason, bro. So yeah, man, like maybe they watch this podcast and they realize, bro, because like, bro, come on, bro. Like as a viewer, bro, like we see this happening, bro. Like they're getting outplayed. You're just simply not gonna beat the Florida Panthers by having like 15 shots on goal. Like it's just that simple. Like, come on.
So
But
game three on Thursday. I want to say it's at 9 o'clock, 8:30, something like that.
30 or 8. I hope it's 8.
I hope it's 8, so at least I could watch the game if I double check right now.
Yeah, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, yeah. On
Eight
Thursday.
o'clock on Thursday. So we'll see what happens after on Thursday when this game takes place. Hopefully, the Oilers can come back and at least make this an interesting series because we haven't seen a Stanley Cup final go to 7 games since 2019. It's been a while, so I mean it would be nice for it to be a bit evenly matched because last year's Florida Panthers team just got demolished by Vegas, and it was a 5. So I'd like to see the series go 6 or 7, but Edmonton's
Yeah.
got to change up the way they play and play their style of hockey how they're normally doing it, and they'll have a chance to come back. So we'll switch it up a little bit and talk about the NBA finals as well. Well, now the Boston Celtics are up 2-0 against the Mavs. Game 3 is tonight, I want to say.
Tomorrow,
So
tomorrow.
it's tomorrow, but I don't know. Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday really carrying this Boston Celtics team and beating the Mavs, who we thought, they beat the Clippers, they beat OKC, they beat the Timberwolves, and now they play the Boston Celtics, who are the best team in the NBA in the regular season, I want to say. And, now they're down 2-0. What do you think?
Yeah, they're down 2-0. I mean, I was expecting Kyrie Irving to play a little bit better against his former squad. I mean, they're just leaving it up to Luka Doncic, which I mean, you can't just leave it up to him every single game, bro. Like the man's trying to drop 30 points, but nobody else is helping. Like Daniel Gafford, 5 points, trash. PJ Washington, 10 points, trash. Like nobody wants to score. So, I mean, Drew Holiday, I mean, one of the best defensive point guards in the league, along with Jaylen Brown, who's his defense has just been absolutely sensational over the past series. So it's just been incredible. Jason Tatum really hasn't done much this series, but I mean, he's getting help from all over the place. Kristaps Porzingis coming back. He's really feasting over playing off of PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. So I mean, he's just cruising along with Al Horford too. So I mean, it's just too much to handle for this Dallas Mavericks squad. I mean, I don't really know where they go from here. Like, there's just too many pieces from this Boston Celtics team that you can't really stop this team. So from scoring because they can score all over the place. You know, you get Drew Holiday who could score, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford can hit some threes. So Derek White as well. I forgot Derek White. So I mean, I don't really know. I really hope the Mavericks win
Well,
because
I said the Celtics would win just because I just like the way they look. I mean, Tatum's,
yeah,
great.
yeah, and they just
Jaylen
got too
Brown.
many pieces, bro. Like it's like I don't really know how this Mavericks team stops them, but I mean, I
In
think the
all
series is
sports, in all sports, you can't go build a team around one and
yeah.
two
You need
players.
so
You need more guys around it. Like the Boston Celtics have so many great pieces. They've got they've got Tatum, they've got Porzingis, they've got Drew Holiday, they've got Jaylen Brown, they've got Al Horford, they've got vets, they've got young guys. They've got a really well-rounded squad, and they're coached really well.
yeah,
Whereas the Mavs are heavily relying on Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and to put a lot of pressure on an older Kyrie against his former team. I mean, Kyrie should be able to step up, but Luka as well, he needs to be better. So, like I said, I like the way the Celtics look over the Mavs, and that's why I picked them to win. Now, if the Mavericks lose one of these games, it could be done in 5. They'll win the NBA championship in TD Garden. The Celtics will, and like I said, major discussions need to be had with the rest of the team because not performing in the biggest games of your life really just shows the kind of player you are if you're not willing to step up when the lights are shining really bright. We've seen that across all different sports. So we'll
yeah,
see. Game 3 tomorrow. I don't know who's gonna win, but the Celtics haven't lost a game on the road in the playoffs. So really gonna stop now? I don't know. They've I think they've only lost like 3 games in this whole postseason. They swept the Pacers. I think what did they? I think they only lost 2 games in that, man. They only lost. They
yeah,
won in
yeah, yeah.
five
They
against.
also like
They won in 5 against the Cavs. They won in 5 against the Heat. They
yeah.
swept the Pacers. So they've lost
Oh,
2
so yeah,
at
bro.
home. They're undefeated on the road, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop the way they've been playing. So Boston Celtics are charging and marching their way right to a 18th leading NBA franchise championship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
nothing you
mean,
can really.
Celtics probably gonna win this. I mean, I really hope the Mavericks do, but it's whatever. It's okay. Bigger on the bigger and better things, bro. Quickly, Euro Cup starts this Friday. First
Yeah.
game, 3 o'clock, Germany, Scotland. By the way, massive, massive game. That's absolutely like ridiculous a game to start. Unbelievable.
Most
Germany.
Michigan versus an underrated team. I mean, Germany's hosting their the Euro this year, and Scotland's got a good young squad up and coming. So it'll be a very interesting match.
I'm really hoping Friday we could possibly do a bracket. Hopefully get it done.
We
Euro
can do a
bracket.
lot.
That would be so fire.
We can
And
do a lot.
yeah, so yeah. I mean, actually, I think we should save our predictions for the Friday episode because I don't want to spoil
Well,
anything. But yeah, it's gonna be
we,
crazy. Let's go Italy play. Let's go Italy. They play Saturday against Albania, 3 o'clock. It's gonna be massive. Gonna defend our title, bro. We're hype. We're
yeah,
ready.
like at work yesterday, I had a guy come up to me and he's like, "Hey, bro, you Italian?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm half Italian." And he's like, "You gonna watch the game on Saturday?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Italy looks okay. They're not as strong as they were before." And he's like, "Well, I'm Albanian. I think Albania's gonna win." I'm like, "Yeah, you think so, but I doubt it." Dude, Albania dude comes up to me. He's like, "Yeah, Albania are winning." I'm like, "You really think you're gonna beat the Euro champions in game one? Like, what do you think this is? It's not
I know.
happening, dude. Albania are the worst team in that group. You really think you're gonna beat us? Absolutely not. Urzona Italia, Azzurri. So you're not gonna win." But yeah, man, it's going to be very interesting. Kylian Mbappe back in the tournament. I mean, after he just signed with Real, he's going to play his heart out, and he hasn't won a Euro yet. To add to his collection of trophies, UCL's on the list for sure, going to Real Madrid. But adding a Euro championship, I mean, that would be really impressive. Like I said, we'll get into our predictions on Friday, but there's a few teams. There's like a good 5 teams I could see winning, and then the rest just chuck them out the door.
There's quite a few dark horses that I'm really impressed by. Yeah, they're gonna be crazy. And then for all the South American mans and also North American mans, Copa America starts in about a week. So Canada somehow tied with France in a friendly 0-0 a couple days ago, which is just mind blowing. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, Canada's first game is against Lionel Messi in Argentina. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Ooh, that'll
So
be interesting.
yeah, so 7 p.m. It's sometime next week. So yeah, so we'll get all of our predictions in there. Preferably Friday. I'm
We
hoping
do it.
that'll be yeah, I'm hoping that'll be like a fully soccer Euro Cup America live episode. But yeah, so anything else you gotta say? Cause I'm pumped.
I think we're gonna leave it at that. So leave a like on the video, guys. Subscribe, tell your friends. On Friday, like we said, we're gonna do like just like we did with the NHL bracket challenge. We'll probably do the exact same thing with the Euro. The Euro is very awesome because 2020 we didn't have a Euro. They delayed it till the year after, and we ended up watching what our I guess not home, but like our background,
Yeah.
Italy in the Euro in on penalties against the fraud squad in England. So
Yes,
we're
the
very
fraud.
and we had the World Cup 2 years ago. So now we're excited for some more important, great football in the national state. We've got Copa America as well because my buddy Justin here, half Ecuadorian, so he's excited. He's
Yes.
hyped for that. But we do love a good Euro football tournament. So see you guys Friday with our predictions. And yeah, guys, until then, take it easy and enjoy the playoff hockey and get ready for some Euros, baby. We'll see you guys then.